find this nexus.
Hello world, I'm an average Joe and I play games, and I'm trying a little bit of a different format today for the casual conversation. So what I'm doing is I am live comming this casual conversation. Usually what I do is I will, capture some gameplay, usually Crucible, because they're nice 10-minute games that make a really good time for YouTube videos. And then I will use that, throw that on the channel, and then commentate over top of it. And that's what I will use for the actual game, or the actual casual conversation. But what I'm trying this time is I'm just loaded up the weekly heroic, just level 24, nothing too hard, nothing to stress me out too much. If I'm trying to play too hard, I'll do a lot of stopping and starting, and it'll be just really annoying for you guys. So instead what I'm doing is just a fairly easy level 24 weekly, weekly heroic. That's what this is called. And what I want to, so let me know in the comments below if you prefer the more raw, unfiltered, unedited version using live commentary, or if you'd prefer me to have the more polished version where, I don't start, I don't stop, I edit out all that. And I need to get out of here, regroup a little bit before I get surrounded. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about today is, particularly after the Dark Below came out, the recent DLC for Destiny, there's been a lot of people complaining about the amount of grind in Destiny. It's saying that, that there's been a lot of chatter that I've seen on YouTube videos, on forums, on, review articles for the Dark Below that, it's awful that people have to, re-level their weapons, and it's awful that they have to, get these marks for more gear, and this is the worst thing ever, and Destiny is a horrible game because of it. And I see a lot of this chatter. So what I wanted to talk to you today is whether or not there is too much grind in Destiny, particularly with the Dark Below expansion. And in order to do that, we have to talk about grind in video games in general, because this is something that you see a lot. So I'm going to do a couple of comparisons here. So the first comparison that I'm going to do is to Call of Duty, and this is a very valid comparison because it is the other IP, the other major IP for Activision. And so because it is their other major IP, we can compare the two games. And people complain about the grind in Destiny, but what they don't realize is that Call of Duty has had the same or more grind for years and years and years. In fact, the grind in Call of Duty was what really established Call of Duty's dominance in the FPS space all the way back in 2007 when Modern Warfare 4 came out. And what I'm specifically referring to is, of course, the Prestige system. The Prestige system is the very definition of grind. You literally have your entire progress reset every single time that you Prestige, and what are you using? What are you getting out of it? A little shiny emblem, a calling card, and you're resetting your entire progress in the entire game. And no one really complains about that. It's an established part of Call of Duty culture that you grind through your prestiges, and that's what people call it. They're on the prestige grind. They're grinding through their prestiges. They're grinding through their low levels, and people love it. Now compare that to Destiny, where with the Dark Below, you literally prestige your exotics. You prestige your weapons. Instead of some weapons, you simply replace with their, you may replace, for example, a solar damage sniper rifle with a 333 or right, what, 331 damage solar sniper rifle. And so you literally replace the weapon. Or some things you literally prestige. So think about your exotics that you upgrade with Zerb. That is a literal prestige of the exotic. I just did that with my Sunbreakers last week, or the week before. Nope, don't want to get tangled up with that, Captain. I'll be honest with you, I am surprised I have not picked up any heavy ammo with Juggler as one of the... Yep, Juggler is there. I cannot believe I have not picked up heavy ammo yet. But anyways, back to the commentary. So, the grind is something that we see in other Activision titles. We also see it in other video games a lot. So, take Skyrim, for instance. Skyrim is considered one of the best video games of all time. That is pretty debatable in my mind, but it is. Excuse me. So compare Destiny to Skyrim. In Skyrim, there is a ton of grind. Think about every fetch quest that you ever have to do in Skyrim. That's the definition of grind. You're yet again having to go to yet another point on the map, fight through another dungeon, fighting the same type of enemies that you've fought over and over again, just to pick up some new item. The only thing that you don't have is you don't have Dinklebot showing you around. But it's the same thing. There we go, there's my heavy. Let's see if we can finish this captain off. It's the same thing. And if you look at a lot of the what's considered the most popular video games of all time, and they will have similar type grinds. But compare that to other games that are on the considered the greatest of all times list, and you'll see that the really good innovative games find ways to avoid the grind. So let's take an example in the original Mario Brothers. So the original Mario Brothers, you know, it's a platformer. There's no save state. Every game you start out at level 1, world 1. And so what you have to do is every time that you play Super Mario Brothers, you have to literally grind through the same opening levels over and over again. So if that's the case, why did Mario Brothers become so popular? It's because of one extremely innovative thing, and that is the warp system. So just as you get done, you're about to call it quits, you're tired of grinding in Super Mario Brothers, what do? You start messing around and you accidentally discover the warp system, and you discover that you can very easily warp from World 1 to World 6 or 7 or 8 or whatever the warp system was. It's been a while since I played the game, and that is a way that you can avoid having to grind out those early levels. You can jump straight to the penultimate levels. Take another example of another game that avoids grind, Earthbound. In Earthbound, as you level up, when you fight low-level enemies, you actually have auto-win battles. You do not have to fight those easy enemies at the early levels because you're so overpowered that the outcome of the battle is already decided. The game does not force you to go through the motions of fighting that battle, which is a really good idea. So you see the best games in the what's considered the best games of all time find ways to avoid that grind, which is something that Destiny has not figured out yet. The only way, for example, to get exotic shards is to grind for them. There's no fast, easy way to get exotic shards. So I think that this is something that Destiny will learn over time. At the moment, do I think that Destiny is, one of the greatest games of all time? No, I don't, because there is no way to avoid that grind. Do I think that Destiny is a very solid game? Yes, absolutely. I think that Destiny is by far beats most of the Well, yeah, I will say beats all of the recent Call of Duties. I think it is one of the best first-person shooters to come out in quite a long time. The feel of the game is smooth. There's almost no lag when you're playing with friends or when you are in the Crucible, which for me is a super big deal. And there's a lot of different variety. You get basically the same gameplay, but you're not playing the same thing over and over again. You play Strikes for a little while, and then you can go and play single player, and then you can go play the Crucible, and then you can go play the Raid if that's what you want to do. You can race speeder bikes, for crying out loud. Need to switch up my secondary real quick. And so you can do all of these things, and it provides a lot of variety. So I do think that, watch me noob out, missing my shots. So I do think that Destiny provides a lot of good content and is a very solid game. But because of the criticism of the grind, I do not think that Destiny can be considered one of the greatest games ever. Yet it's still very early in Destiny's life cycle, so let's cut Bungie some slack a little bit. And what else did I want to mention to you guys? Oh, run! So, do I like the changes that they made to the Dark Below to encourage grinding? You know, I don't mind having to re-level my weapons or to re-level my exotics again. You know, it's equivalent to prestiging in a weapon in Call of Duty, and you know, people do that just to get you know, no functional benefit. You just get a camo for the weapon. Is that really worth prestiging? Well, people have been doing it in Call of Duty for years, so I don't see why prestiging my Sunbreakers to get more powerful would be any different, or why I would have an issue with that. So I don't mind having to re-level my weapons. I do like I like and hate the commendation system all at the same time. What I like about the commendation system is that it made reputation gains worthwhile. Because in the base game, once you hit level 3 for any of your faction reputation, it was basically worthless. There was no other reason to level up your faction. And so I really like that faction reputation means something now. I hate how long it takes to level up stuff, because, you know, really you have to level up things so much just to get, you know, one commendation. I really wish that there were, you know, commendations would randomly drop. I think that would address a lot of the issues that people have with grinding for commendations. And as you can see, my weapons are hideously underleveled, so I have lots of trouble with these guys, eating through their shield. But I think that would address a lot of the criticisms that people have of the commendation system, is if they just made commendations leveled, or you know, part of the random number drop. You know, so if you could get a commendation as part of a random number drop, I think that would address a lot of people's criticism and make it a lot more palatable for people to level up, because you will randomly get those in addition to leveling up your... Get my shield, run away! You will get commendations randomly in addition to leveling up your faction reputation, which I think would be a good thing. So anyways, I will stop talking here because I am about to be surrounded by Minotaurs and need to focus. So let me know again in the comments section below if you guys like this this style of commentary. It's a little more rambly than my typical commentary, but is a little bit more raw, a little bit more honest. So if that floats your boat, let me know if you enjoy it. And also, let me know what you think about the grind. Is that something that you enjoy? Is that something that you are pleased to see them implement in the Dark Below? And do you have other things that you would like to see changed, or other ways that that you think that they could address some of the issues. The Bungie could address some of the issues or criticism. All right, I thank you guys for bearing with me and listening to me, and leave a comment down in the comment section below, subscribe, and like, favorite, do whatever it is you do, and we will see you guys in the next game.